The price of bread have skyrocketed. Well, since 2020, there's been a little bit of hike, neither here nor there. But with producers threatening to close shops, some have even closed shops over increases in prices of baking ingredients. The bread production situation this year did not differ. Rather, it deteriorates as the naira gets a further battering and prices of materials used in baking bread spiral. Now, the president of the Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Emeka Onoha, has revealed that more than 26,000 bread factories across the country have shut down over the past 4 years, with members dropping from 36,000 in 2017 to less than 10,000, while blaming government taxes, which includes 30% on wheat levy, 15% wheat development. A lot of these figures, well, let's get talking. And I told you earlier, he's live in the studio. No other person than the president of the Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria, PBAN. He's also a petroleum engineer. Yes, Mr. Emmanuel Onoha. Good to have you in the studio. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Tolu.
It's always good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. Nice having me. Good afternoon, Tolu, and good afternoon to viewers.
Yes, let's start very quickly with our last discussion, where that was on phone, but I'm bringing it live here now, about the sugar thing. What is happening with the price of sugar at the moment?
Well, it's not only sugar.
Wow.
It's not only sugar. We are in a situation of deja vu. You know, every time we keep coming, we keep reiterating what we are saying, we keep knocking our heads on the wall. Nobody answers anybody. Between January and now, let me tell you, between January and now, the price of sugar has increased by 4,500. In January this year, it was 29,000 or thereabout. As I speak with you today, there is scarcity of sugar. I don't know if it's deliberate. You understand? Deliberate, I don't know whether it is deliberate. But when I try finding out, I discovered that maybe they are having hitches here and there. There is the possibility that between today, tomorrow, and beyond, the prices of sugar is going to increase further. And this has a very negative and is going to have a ripple effect on our businesses. You know, between January and now, all our basic ingredients in which we use in making bread has either doubled, tripled, or quadrupled, or sometimes in certain cases pentapled, as the case may be. So it's a very bad situation for us bakers, you know, and we are MSMEs, micro, small businesses, you understand, and we are supposed to be the drivers of employment in every society, because if you go to the Western world and any economy that is going to make a headway, the small businesses, the micro and small businesses are the enablers that ensures that there is employment for majority of people in that country. But in our case, in our country, the case is the reverse. So it's a very bad one for us. Imagine that sugar has increased. Sugar makes up about 16% of our inputs, you know, based on the current increase, which might even go up further. And we are hearing that flour is going to may likely increase. And we are saying it and putting it on record here that, look, we cannot continue to subsidize this whole thing. It is getting at us. One of the biggest members I have, one of our biggest bakery, closed shop about 3 weeks ago. One of the biggest, has changed all across the whole of the federation with multi-billion naira investments gone down the drain. All their workers were sacked and asked to go. They closed shop because why? Their cost does not match their revenue. Yeah. And it is not only them. For every baker, it's same thing for us. You know, our throughput, maybe for instance, your throughput is supposed to be, let's say, 50 bags. Today, you are doing maybe 8-10 bags. You understand?
Obviously.
Yeah, so your capacity has dropped by about 75%.
Before now, you calculate with what you earn, with your budget. So you've had projections before the end. So all of them have to be reviewed, or what do you do to accommodate this?
You can't even do any projection. You know why? Because everything is thrown to the dogs. In January, when you are setting up your budget, when you are drawing up your budget before year ending and all that, you sit with your team and you draw up your budget. Look, before a week after, that budget is in shreds. It's in shreds. You know, look at it now, 29,000 to about 35,000 today, with the possibility of, not a possibility, with the threat that it's going to go up further. How do we do? How do we survive? How do those businesses survive? Same goes for softeners. Same goes for salt. Salt was, how much was it? 6,000. How much was it? 6,000. I think today it's about 11,000 naira. Salt ni Salt, 11,000 naira. Then are you not talking about softener that makes the bread very soft because we are premium. You don't produce, you produce quality so that people can get value for what they are buying. And of course, it's part of our own objective as premium bread makers to ensure that whatever we give out to the populace is something that is, our materials are all good materials, are wholesome materials that is not having, that will not have any negative effect on people's health. So
high standards.
Very well put. So that is where we find ourselves. Egg in January this year was about, I think, 1,008 or 2,000. It rose from there to 2,200. I think today, if you want to buy those orobo, those big ones they call orobo, of course, if you want to buy them for your mix and all that, it is now between 2,500 and 3,000. And the way we are complaining is the way the poultry people are complaining.
They even have a glut. I had the president here. They have a glut.
So this whole thing goes round and round. Now, rather than the government thinking of how to get money for production, they are getting it for consumption. What are they getting 800 million for? Put it in the real sector. You want to share it to Nigerians. What are they sharing?
For subsidy palliative.
What are you talking about? What are they saying? What are they sharing? What comes to my industry? What comes to the bakery industry? What goes to the other small businesses? They are dying by the day. Nobody gives us loan. If they give you, you go to the bank. The other day I wanted to finance equipment that I needed because mine are dilapidated. I went to my bankers. Despite my inflow and outflow every day, they are telling me that I'm going to give about 27% or thereabout percent. Where do I get the money to pay back? And it's not even reducing interest. So what are we talking about? Invest this money in the real sector. Invest it in small businesses. Invest it in SMEs. Invest it in micro businesses. Why are you sharing? Sharing is consumption. Why are you borrowing? Why are you going to borrow money and share? Does it add up?
Like my guest
does it add up? You want to share the money you are getting. You say, who are you giving it to? Who does the audit? Who does it? In the same vein, you are trying to remove subsidy. You want to kill us and let us go bunkum? Where does it happen? In what country does it happen? Where the government does not have a feeling for people?
Let me follow up with that. So if you're saying government should not remove subsidy, we're talking about almost 7 trillion being mopped up or to be mopped up if subsidy is not paid and to be diverted to other sources. What do you think should be done? Thank God, like I said, you're a petroleum engineer. What can be done to address the anomaly that we experience at all times within the downstream of the petroleum value chain?
It's that sector is in shambles. You understand me? Influence peddlers and everything in all that sector. Look, the government should just be very careful with this subsidy they think they want to remove. They shouldn't do it, because if they do it, industries are going to come at us. Come, who does the audit? Who does the audit? They say we are doing 80 million. Who's doing 80 million? Which economy?
That's liters a day, right?
An economy that is not productive. We are not doing more than 30 million. We are not doing more than 30 million plus. I better pass my neighbor plus the one they use for electricity that we are not being able to generate. We are not doing more than 30 million. Where are they getting it? Who does the audit? Look at the chain. Look at it. From where they bring the import it to the country.
Yes.
They will just create all sort of bottlenecks, demurrage, this levy, that levy. Nobody does an audit.
Dollars.
Well, most of it are denominated in dollars.
Yes.
It's international business.
Yes.
Who does that? Who does the audit? You go to Apapa, you see them. The tankers are lined up there. They are going out of the country. The borders are very, very porous. The borders are very, very porous. You're taking our product, you say you are subsidizing our product, and then you are taking it out to other countries to enrich people. Who allows them thoroughfare out of the country? Who allows them? Who allows those things to happen? Enough of it in this country. Our businesses are dying. I had about 180 workers. Today I have 50, and I'm going to lay off so many again. We were doing 2-3 shifts before. I'm doing 1 shift now. Ditto for all my members. My members are suffering, and you are telling me that you want to go and bring a loan for consumption. See, it will not happen. We will not accept it again. And this one serves as a cue too to the incoming administration. We are going to be holding everybody accountable and responsible in this country. Enough of this whole thing, because our businesses are tied, our businesses are dying. Anybody that comes in and they want to rule Nigeria, thank God we have a president-elect and all of it. We are going to ensure we hold people accountable. This country must work for us. Must everybody jackpot? Must everybody jackpot? I have a friend. He sold off his business and he's going to Canada. People are going to. The other day I called a friend. He's in the UK with his family. And our best hands are leaving this country. I'm an engineer by training, worked in the oil and gas for 24 years, a baker by choice. I came into this as something I want to do, to build something I've initiated, to build an industry that will be virile, an industry that will make this country grow, provide employment. That was why when we left we invested our money, not only me, so many of my members. You just gave a catalog of my members. How many were we before? Today we are less than 10,000. Where does that happen? Business that the government on their own will be shouting here, ourselves hosts. Nobody is listening to us. We've been saying remove 15%.
Yes, talking about that. Yes, the extra duty on importation of wheat.
Yes,
the government still on?
It's still on. They're still taking it. We say remove that 50%. Do your 50% on wheat levy. Remove the 50% development that was started in Jonathan's administration. Nobody is removing anything. And if you remove that, you have a cushion. You have a cushion for these people. You have a way to hold them. Look, this thing is about food security. Bread is a staple. Bread is a grab and go. It's something that is served on the table. If in some homes, if children come in, if they don't see bread, as though they are not eating. You understand me? So the government must deliberately see how they can help this industry. The baking industry is a big and a net employer of labor, though micro, small, and medium. You understand me? So, I've been here severally. I've been in different TV stations canvassing the same thing. But here we are, nothing is happening. How are we doing about 6.7 million wheat importation into the country?
Are we looking inwards? Are we doing in country?
Yes, we are doing, Tolu. Let me.
The issue about taste.
Listen, when I say we are doing
taste.
Listen, when I say we are doing, 15 states in Nigeria, majorly in the northern part of this country, grow with. But can I burst your bubble? Only 450,000 metric tons of about 6.7
I thought the
million.
CBN at the time said they wanted to increase production capacity.
They are not doing anything. Where is that money for the wheat development going into? Who is doing the improved seedling? You understand me? There's a wheat council based in Jigawa State. So who is doing all those? Who is doing all those stuff? This country must be made to work for Nigerians. This country must be made to work for businesses. We can't all leave this country now.
Yeah.
Are all of us going to leave? Do I sell my business and leave and jackpot with my family?
I totally agree with you.
What respite will I get outside this country?
So I always like to ask you this question because I expect our policymakers, those are the aims of affair at the Federal Ministry of Trade, Investment, Industry and Investment.
Yeah, FMITI.
Yes, FMITI. Should be having talks with you, or maybe representatives of them having talks with you and understand this, because I see that passion and I see you coming up, and I know what it is, to invest in something. You're paying back loans, interest rates on the high side, and you seem not to be getting return on profit.
Nothing. Rather, you are going to
what would you say to them directly? What would be your request directly to them in addressing some of these issues?
Well, the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment are hamstringing in their own way too, because recently they just constituted a technical committee on growing of wheat in the country. We are part of that initiative.
Okay.
The master bakers are part of the initiative. The CBN, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, and they themselves. All we are trying to do is how to see how we can ensure that wheat produced in country, just like they did in sugar, do a backward integration. So we are in that committee, and they'll be doing their best. But the truth is, at the end of the day, they are civil servants. If all the civil servants does their work, the political leaders must be the ones that will give. They must give heed. They must give life to these policies. But when these political leaders are sleeping and the civil servant does all their job, who carries out this whole thing? You understand? It becomes a situation of deja vu. Everybody is looking at each other. It's been very, very, very tough for us as businesses. Look at my cost. If I show you the generic here, look at it. It's not getting better. Yes, the only reprieve we had in...
I see red.
Yes, red. You see, we are doing a negative of 91 naira 64 kobo on a pack size, that big jumbo size. We are doing... Look, generic, we are doing 91.64% naira. On the small one, those
that's almost 100 naira now.
Yes, on the small pack size, which is the family size, depending on the one you want to buy, we are doing about 55 naira on it. Not talking about the cost of diesel. So the only way you can be able to remain afloat in this business is what? By ensuring that you upscale, you produce as much as you can. But mark you, the production is not longer as it used to be. Why? People are impoverished. There is no money in people's pocket.
Crunch
There's a cash crunch. There is people that are losing their job.
Yeah.
There's the jackpot syndrome. There is poverty that is rife. When you
people are even looking for options.
When you talk about multidimensional poverty, come and ask us in the bread making industry. We'll tell you that thing is reality. When I see food inflation at 24%, I laugh. It's more than that. Our inflation, food inflation is more than that, because check egg, check beverage, check salt, check bread and everything, and look at it. Add it to cumulative, you find out that it is more than the 24% that MBS is reeling out. I know that stat is not correct. I know.
Well, you've already started this, and I'd like us to wrap up on that note. Everyone is setting an agenda for the president-elect in few days. The civilian-to-civilian handover is what we expect and all of that. So you have this opportunity to your industry. In straight terms, they are just coming in, and they are coming with a renewed hope, according to them. So what will be your direct request? Because manufacturers have made theirs known. Small business have also made their known. You are also a member of that community. Yes. So go ahead and let's highlight some of the major challenges.
Number one, the incoming administration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Shetima, they should look at the issue of the FX, because this industry is majorly import dependent. One, look at your economy, macro and micro, that will ensure that naira comes down to a reasonable level. You understand me? I know it's not going to be easy, but it's something they should do, because look at our economy is dollarized. Now, after that, if you do that, you can be able to do what? Get down the cost of importation. When you get down the cost of importation, remove that 15%. I'm not saying you shouldn't do your duty. Remove that 15% that was started by Jonathan in 2012 or so? 2012 or so.
Okay.
Remove that 15%. Remove it from that 30% net on the wheat import. Let the millers use that as a bulwark. Let it be a firewall for them, so that they can get that off their own cost elements. Reduces the price. Then look at this sugar import, because the problem with this sugar increase, when I asked, was that they said, they import sugar granular into Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria does about 1.67 million metric tons. Okay, 10% of it is locally made. Of course, we have 3 sugar refiners in the country. They are not able to meet the country's need. Look at what you can do. These are places you should be subsidizing. These are places you should be subsidizing. See how you can subsidize it. And then look at this issue of the administration incoming. Look at this issue of fuel subsidy. Look at this issue. We must begin to refine our own products in country. Thank God Dangote will soon come on stream. What happened to Warri? What happened with Warri Refinery and Petrochemical? I heard they said they were doing turnaround time on LMA Petrochemicals.
Port Harcourt, right? Yes, that's a major. Let's get it right. It's a rehabilitation. Because I want us to get that thing right, so that we hold an NPCL responsible. It's a $1.5 billion rehabilitation dollars.
Yes,
rehabilitation.
So what's the fate of that?
They are hopeful. They said maybe anytime soon a part of it should become functional. That's what we are hearing. We are following that up as journalists.
What unit of it is coming on stream?
We are following.
You understand me? You look at Warri. You look at Port Harcourt. You understand? When this whole thing come in, when the whole refineries are working, you cannot begin to talk of subsidy removal because it will dovetail into having diesel, the price of diesel come down. There's nothing as something you produce in country. We have these things. The problem is, do we have the wherewithal? It's the political will. And let us less chop. People should less chop and think of Nigeria. The level of corruption in the whole of that thing is humongous and it's mind-boggling. We must ensure that those corruptions are nipped in the bud. You understand, to a reasonable extent. Refine your products in country. The other day I was in Warri. I was going to Jedo. I passed through the refinery when we were very young, when we were still much younger, in Warri then. Those were the places our fathers were all working. Yes. That place, DSC and the MPA. You understand? All of them are moribund today. Nothing is happening. The flare that you used to see around that Shagolo refinery roundabout, there was this filling station there. Everything gone. I felt very nostalgic. I was almost shedding tears. What is this before my eyes? Not that I've lived this life and I've lived this life and gone. The Warri refinery is dilapidated. So before you say you want to even remove your subsidy, get the ones in the country working.
Mr. Badenoha, I think you too, we need to come talk about refining and addressing all of these challenges.
The whole thing is just very...
I understand and I see you're so real about it, saying it the way it is. I must agree with you that there are issues that needs to be addressed as soon as they can. Mr. Emmanuel Onoha, I introduced him earlier. He is the president of Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria. They're telling us passionately about what is happening to the industry and what they need government to look at very quickly. Thank you so much. And I believe that the next time we'll be chatting, at least some of these issues would have been addressed.
We hope for the best. Right. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria.
Right,
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
so much.